senior night and parent appreciation night with Orangeville Prep playing Prep. And without further ado, we're going to announce a couple of our other classes here tonight and then get through with our seniors to get you guys on the way. So please leave your hands together for your underclassmen of Orangeville Prep. First off, we have a 6'3" point guard from Stony Creek, Ontario, Jolene Dunphy. Our next player is a 6'5" forward from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Lorenzo County. Next, we have a 6'7" forward, born and raised from Green Bay, Jason Frank. And now it's like you go to the
How's everyone doing tonight? So I wrote a speech. It's about 10 minutes per player. I'm going to be really quick with this. Obviously, talk to these guys before the game a little bit, but first I'd like to thank all of the parents for attending today. Thanks to all the parents for trusting us at the academy with your son, allowing us to be a part of his life and develop into a young man. Obviously, some guys just joined us this year. There's a special bond with this group. Probably one of the closest groups we've ever had in terms of being unselfish, fighting for each other, caring for each other, and genuinely wanting to be around each other. The coaching staff, on behalf of the coaching staff, we thank you guys and the parents for raising such great young men. I'm just going to start quickly with Dyson from Philadelphia. Reaching out in the summer, having a conversation with him, building a relationship, coming up to finish his final year here. Really special when you can see a young man achieve his goals and his dreams to sign at Pace University, and will continue his basketball career next year at Pace. So thank you, Dyson. Jeff Ngandu was a teammate and a friend of Dyson. Both of them we had come here without knowing each other were coming here, which is a small world. Jeff is going to continue his basketball career next year at a high major program, still yet to make a decision, but will be very shortly. He's here with Alan, who helped us bring Jeff to Canada and be able to help be a part of his dreams and his goals to better his family's life back in the Congo and play basketball. I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the hard work that you put in the gym, all the times that we're cussing you out and pushing you and trying to get you to fail. It's all in love to hopefully make you one day succeed and see your goals and dreams of what you want to do. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Check 1 2, check 1 2 3. Welcome, OSBA TV. I'm Chris McKee. We've got a big one tonight here at the Athlete Institute in Mono, Ontario. The undefeated Orangeville Prep Bears taking on Lincoln Prep, coming in at 10-8. Both teams' last game of the season, OSBA playoffs. Tipping off in 2 weeks, March 5th to 8th. Well, this one should be a good one. Obviously, Jefferson Koulibaly, the return up here to the Athlete Institute. where he spent last season, and then before transferring down to Lincoln. We'll talk about him plenty throughout the broadcast. Leading scorer in the OSBA and likely MVP of the league. For me, it's down to Jeff and Kobe Elvis over at Bill Carruthers, who's the reigning MVP. Senior night tonight, so thanks for joining us. Wonderful celebrations. I talked about this with Tony McIntyre, Orangeville head coach, did the first game with me tonight. This is the third game. First two we just did on the Athlete Institute live stream. This one, OSBA TV. So starting tonight, let's see if Tony goes with all seniors just to start. So Matthew Alexander Moncrief out there. Talk a lot about MA throughout the broadcast as well. Kyler Filowich, Coleman Stuka, Shamar Rattan-Mays. And who else isn't out there? So starting for Lincoln, number 3, Jefferson Koulibaly. Number 2, Tyson Cato. We check the numbers. Number 1 is Lorenzo Barbieri. Number 10, Jacob Buss. This is my first time doing Lincoln this year. Also, number 13, Hazara Jawanda out there. Barbieri, Jawanda. Inside feed to Cato. As quickly. And 3 in the key. Good defense from Filowich and Matthew Alexander Moncrief. So thanks for joining us. If you are watching on the YouTube stream, I would imagine family members, players, and coaches all across North America. Moncrief, Filowich, the follow, gets his first basket of the game. A lot of universities, well, 3 universities specifically, Georgetown, Seton Hall, Oklahoma State, them and their coaching staff anxiously awaiting Matthew Alexander Moncrief's decision come Friday. He's going to choose where he's going to attend. Buss lost a handle on it. And then again, another turnover. So Lincoln, a little nervous here in the first opening minute. Shamar Rattan-Mays, senior night. I've followed Shamar here. This is my 4th year doing play-by-play. Seen Shamar grow as a youngster. And oh, what a block, Tyson Cato. And here's the leading scorer, number 3, Koulibaly, step back for 3. And Jeff misses his first attempt, rebound Moncrief. Rattan-Mays, the smartest player in the OSBA. Moncrief off the glass. Welcome to the game, Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Cato, feed over to Jawanda. In and out. Stuka, you can't give him space. One of the premier 3-point shooters in the country. Filowich, and quick hands from Hazara Jawanda. Knocks it out of bounds. Still going to be Orangeville ball. Justice Prentice out there for the first time. Justice switches hands. Lovely finish. Justice Prentice. So how deep does Orangeville go? Well, you got guys who have already committed to play Division I basketball sitting over on the bench right now, not even starting. And was it double dribble? No. Is it a foul? Shamar gets his first foul against him, I believe. So these two should know each other pretty well. Teammates last year. Jawanda. That's going to be a really good matchup. Filowich and Jawanda, 2 big men. Cato. And Lincoln Prep cannot get off the schneid. Ice cold in the opening minutes. Moncrief finds Stuka for 3. Coleman Stuka, swish. Northeastern, you're getting a good one. This guy, I believe he's going to be an all-conference player down at Northeastern. Tony McIntyre's head coach echoed my sentiment earlier. And Prentice was going for the steal and ends up fouling Lorenzo Barbieri. Third game of the triple header tonight. Opening game, both good ones. AI Red versus Father Henry Carr. Henry Carr escaped with a late victory. And then we just watched Crestwood Prep edge out AI Black. Both really good games. And Stuka steals it. Get your phones out, Coleman. Stuka hammers that down. Coleman feeling it tonight. Back-to-back buckets for the Northeastern Husky. Coleman's last regular season high school game. Jawanda feed inside. And finally, Mel Miakongamane opens the scoring for Lincoln. And then Mane, called with a foul. I got to work on that name. I thought I did well on the first try. Keep it going. Rattan Mays inbounds to Moncrief. M.A. puts it on the floor. And then Jeff strips it. And then it hit off Moncrief and went out of bounds. So you know Koulibaly, this one's going to mean something to him. Obviously coming up here. And then travel call, 5 seconds by Miakongamane. Turnover. So Orangeville, I don't see Orangeville play with this kind of energy too often. Usually sometimes guilty of a cakewalk. And feet inside, and Moncrief is mugged and won. Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Now, if Orangeville play with this kind of intensity every week, they're already 18-0. The games would be over by the first quarter. So Moncrief, set to make his decision between Georgetown, playing under Patrick Ewing. He's done all his visits. Seton Hall, where he could join former teammate Tyrese Samuel, who's down there, or down at Oklahoma State, be a Cowboy. Saw some of the pictures from his visit down there. Looks like he had a really great time. And to be honest, I know M.A. a little, got to know him quite a bit. If you're a coaching staff out there watching, I have no secret information for you. You'll find out Friday with the rest of the world. So Koulibaly at the line. Jeff out of Montreal. Mentioned 30 points per game, leading scorer in the OSBA. And when you think of the talent in this league, that's something. Prentice coast to coast. Oh, and he's fouled hard. Hey, how's that not a flagrant? Because he knew exactly what he was doing. Justice goes down hard, up quickly. So this is the third game of the day, and my voice is shot. For those who don't know, I also work on the radio, doing traffic and weather for News Talk 1010 and TSN 1050. So been on the radio all week, and then up here doing 3 games. Much rather be here, to be honest. Prentice. The transfer from Bill Carruthers in his second season up at Orangeville Prep. Tony talked about that, McIntyre in the intro. Very quiet guy. Does all his talking on the court. Koulibaly switches to left hand. Jeff cold in the early going. Rattan Mays for 3. In and out, unlucky. Lincoln Prep. Koulibaly, feed inside to nobody. Stuka sniffs that out, steals it. Rattan Mays to Moncrief, and the finish. M.A. pushed in the back, and finally Lincoln Prep wants a timeout. Orangeville out the gates like a house on fire, 16-2. Lincoln's got to stop the bleeding. So talked about this in the previous 2 games. Obviously, Pop Smoke bumping in the background. R.I.P. Pop. Terrible loss. for the music world. One of my favorite new artists. Just getting into his music over the past couple months, and horrified to see the news first thing this morning when I woke up. So if you are out there on Twitter, you can drop me a line on Twitter at Mr. McKee, MRMCKEE. I always post some videos, interviews. So I just did an interview post-game with Romad Dean. I'll post that with some of his highlights, and always post highlights after every game. Chop up some of the game. Cut it down to a minute or two for YouTube and my Twitter. You go on my YouTube, just type Chris McKee, and you'll see about 100 interviews from different OSBA players over the past 3 or 4 years or so. Back to it, Lincoln got to settle down. They got to get Koulibaly involved. Bus leaves it for Jeff. Darius DiVero seeing his first action tonight, number 1, guarding Koulibaly. And that's Raheem Douglas-Charles getting a basket. He's seeing his first action for Lincoln Prep. Moncrief in what will likely be his last game here. Filowich, Kyler Filowich. Let him know, big man. 18-4. And deny Filowich on the other end. You know, Kyler's 6'9", probably goes 240, maybe. You know, former football player. This guy could have played D1 football, but basketball, his first love. And sometimes I think he had great position, jumped, and sometimes he's just bigger than other people. Lorenzo Barbieri draws the foul. Lorenzo from Mississauga. One of the OSBA top performers of the month, along with his teammate Koulibaly. Had 15.6 rebounds versus Crestwood to be one of the players of the month. Prentice. And it looks like he's fouled. I didn't see who get him. Or who got him, excuse me. Looks like Scott Jenkins out there, I believe. Number 7, seeing his first action for Lincoln. So Lincoln going to the bench, not getting much out of the starters. Zach Angelini, head coach, looking for a little energy off the bench. Oshesu Ebua, number 9, seeing his first action as well. Also out there, standing next to Moncrief underneath the hoop. Prentice hits him. 20-4. Red hot start for Orangeville. Koulibaly. Barbieri. Nowhere to go. And back-to-back buckets, Raheem Douglas-Charles. So Douglas-Charles off the bench, making an impact. Seems like the only one in black that can find the back of that can find the net, excuse me. And Downey with a vicious step back, one of his signature moves. So Lorenzo out there with a Band-Aid over his left eye, looking like Nelly. So you know I'm going to drop a bunch of Nelly references tonight. Prentice can't get the roll. Koulibaly, guarded by Prentice. Jenkins, long 3, swish. Scott Jenkins. Lincoln Prep settling down. 20-9. Moncrief puts it on the floor, and then over everyone, Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Sometimes it ain't fair. And may you see his length, the wingspan, goes about 6'7", but plays so much longer with his arms. And it looks like a foul off the ball. I didn't see who it's on. It is on Prentice, but he'll go to the bench. Rattan Mays back in for Orangeville, and we're going to see Alex Nawaga for the first time tonight. Number 4, the James Madison commit. I believe, I was saying this in the first game, I believe James Madison is the second oldest university in America, behind Harvard. I only know that because that's one of the schools that reached out to my son for about soccer. I looked him up and I saw the campus. It was gorgeous. I did read James Madison, the former president's biography, about a year ago. That's how boring I am. Diavero, Darius, son of a coach. You know, if Shamar's the smartest player in the OSBA, Darius is like 1A. Darius will be back next year. He'll be the full-time general. With Shamar off somewhere playing. He's undecided right now. Any coaches out there watching, you need number 3 on your team, Rattan Mays. So, Koulibaly was the OSBA Performer of the Month. Had 48 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists versus Henry Carr. Eye-popping numbers, and Henry Carr's, that's a damn good team. Well, Jeff, one of those guys, bet on himself, was here. Got a ton of minutes, started a bunch of games, part of the rotation here at Orangeville Prep, but bet on himself, left, and wanted to be the guy in an offense, and has proven he can be. And now the offers are rolling in. Koulibaly fielding offers from Maryland, Washington State. I know he was down at a visit. I looked at his Twitter the other day. And a whole bunch of others. His game's developed so much in the past year. I mean, he was a really nice player here last year. Nawaga blocks that. He got all ball, and he's called with a foul. Disappointing. But Jeff's game has grown so much. Barbieri at the line. Lorenzo from Mississauga. He's a class of 2020. Moncrief takes a breather over on the bench. Nawaga gets the rebound. Rattan Mays. Shamar, little stutter step, leaves it for Stuka. You can't leave him open. Oh. So Stuka coming into the game, hitting 42% from behind the arc. Justice Prentice, about 46%. Where's Downey? Downey about 34. So it looks like Lorenzo to the free throw line. Excuse me, this is the third game my voice is shot. Need a quick drink of water. So don't forget to follow OSBA on Instagram and Twitter. Stay up to date on all things OSBA, both the boys and the girls side. Called a bunch of girls games this year. I mentioned last week before, I was over in the Crestwood gym doing Crestwood Capitol Courts, 2 of the top female programs in Canada. And here we are, 2 of the top men's programs in the country in Orangeville and Lincoln Prep. Koulibaly. Cato misses on his 3 attempt. Diavero feeds it. Ball bouncing around, and it looks like Cato is going to be called with a foul. 1:30 to go in the first quarter. Orangeville Prep out 24-13 with 16-2 to open. Lincoln settled a little. Downey, his range is anywhere in the gym. And speaking from anywhere in the gym, Coleman Stuka off the glass. Gives a little wince, a shrug, says, I'll take it. Didn't call glass, but got to be lucky to be good to be lucky. Step back, Koulibaly drains it. I believe that's his first of the game. Downey in and out. Barbieri brings it up for Lincoln. Jenkins has already hit a 3. Cato, spin move. Underneath, that's Ibua. Oshesu Ibua. I'll work on that name throughout the game. 10-point lead, Orangeville Prep. Just over 30 seconds to go in the first. Rattan Mays. Shot clock at 10. Feed inside to Nawaga underneath. Can't finish. Lincoln Prep comes up with it. Koulibaly. Shot clock is off. So they should hold for the last shot here. Guarded by Diavero. Koulibaly dances through everyone. And an offensive foul. Nawaga took the charge. And Orangeville Prep's going to have 2 seconds. So I would think, I would have liked to seen either Stuka or Downey. But instead, Shamar from half court puts it up. Oh, good attempt. So at the end of 1, Orangeville Prep 27. Lincoln Prep 17. Coleman Stuka, a couple big threes. Kyler Filowich, big dunk. Koulibaly finally settling a little, getting the basket late in the first. And for Lincoln, it is encouraging that starters didn't really perform, as planned, but the bench came on and contributed. Raheem Douglas-Charles, a couple big baskets for Lincoln to settle things down. So, as I mentioned, this is my first look at Lincoln this year. It's nice to see that they have some depth. That's the rub with, there's a lot of starting fives in the OSBA that can compete with Orangeville's starting fives. The problem is there's not a lot of second units that can compete with Orangeville's bench. And so I'm just kind of, sizing this up come OSBA playoffs. I got Orangeville Prep as the number 1 seed. And then you got to look at Bill Carruthers, for me, probably number 2 seed. And then you're looking just after that, there's Lincoln, Henry Carr, and Central Tech not far behind. But hey, anything can happen. TRC, back-to-back OSBA champs. 2 of those guys out on the court right now, Darius and Lorenzo Downey. And so they have the opportunity to go to 3-peat this year with Orangeville. Second quarter starting. Darius looking for help. Stuka. You see Stuka's size. It's, he's got NBA size for his position. Certainly has high major Division I size. I think Northeastern is steel. Tony McIntyre's head coach talked about how important academics was for him. Jenkins from the corner misses. That's one of the main reasons why he chose Northeastern. Stuka in the corner, spot up shooter. Oh, air ball. Announcers jinx. Saying too many good things about him. Koulibaly moving guys out of the way. Nobody there. Oshesu Ibua missed on that attempt. Downey yet to get going. Last week when I was up here, he had 5 3-pointers in the first 5 minutes. There was flames coming off his ball. Darius in and out. Koulibaly with the rebound. Cato. And a lovely follow. Let's see the number. Looks like Barbieri. It is Lorenzo Barbieri with the follow. Stuka. And back-to-back air balls for Coleman. You know, one of the things is I don't normally see him play with a ton of emotion. He's so even-keeled. He was pretty jacked after hitting a couple early shots. And you wonder if he's just got to kind of take a deep breath, slow down. Jenkins, feet inside. Barbieri with the finish. And now I think Orangeville Prep wants a timeout, settle things down with the lead now down to just 6. Lincoln on a nice little run. So for those out there listening aren't familiar, haven't heard me call games before, keep in mind, I don't have any stat sheets with me. I don't have any producer in my ear, so I'm going to make a mistake or two. And I won't be able to update you on specific point totals throughout the game. I write down a bunch of key plays, just so I know what highlights to cut, but forgive me for not having that info for you. You drop me a line on Twitter at Mr. McKee, MRMCKEE, or Instagram at Mr. McKee CM. Post some videos, definitely from today's games. All 3, ton of highlights. Big shouts to Yoram, Carmelo from the OSBA. Don't forget OSBA Championship Weekend down at Ryerson Mattamy Athletic Center, March 5th to 8th. Definitely got to go down and check that out in person. Last year, great atmosphere. Koulibaly, Jenkins spots up for 3. Rebound, Filowich. So both of Kyler's parents played, I believe, at the University of Manitoba basketball. Shamar with a little floater, gets his own rebound, feeds it to Kyler. And second time's a charm, Kyler Filowich. So I know Kyler's parents usually out there listening on the live stream out in Manitoba. Hope all is well, Mom and Dad. Shamar and Clever went up and feed inside to Filowich. Lost a handle on it. M.A. And how is he not fouled? And finally, for crying out loud. Ooh, hey, punch is thrown. Barbieri just threw a punch at Shamar Rattan-Mays. The bench is emptying. And another punch. Again, Koulibaly just punched Nawaga out of nowhere. So that's 2 punches thrown I've seen from the Lincoln players, unprovoked. I've seen the Orangeville guys just pushing back. Wow. So curious to see the fallout of this. Barbieri's got to be tossed, and I got to think Koulibaly punching, Alex after everything had kind of settled. But to me, Barbieri's got to be tossed. Baloney. And Shamar had nothing to do with the play. It was Moncrief that was in there. And then Shamar's just kind of, Barbieri's kind of backed into him and turns around and cold cocks him in the face. Well, either way, this is going to be an interesting game. The way with this kind of temperature. So one thing I don't like here, I don't see the refs together conversing to figure out what's going on. We got one ref at one bench. We got another kind of moseying over to the other, and a third ref at the scores table. I want to see them. Well, so Vince Bull, or I think he's just getting the numbers from the Lincoln guys. We'll see what's going on here. So unfortunately, also, I can't read your comments on the YouTube stream. If you are leaving comments, I can't see them. Mark Peterson, who runs the live stream here, does a great job here at Athlete Institute. So shout out Mark. He's up in the studio, which is, if you're looking at the screen right now, to your right up in the glass. And my view is right below the camera, what you're looking at right now in the media booth here. So don't forget, coming up, BioSteel Weekend, March 28th, 29th. Let me just check my calendar. March 28th is the Futures Game and Skills Competition up here, and then the 29th is the actual BioSteel game Sunday on TSN. I'm hoping to do the skills competition again. I'll have a chat with Mark after the game. Make sure. I booked it off work, so hopefully. 29-21. And again, that all started. Moncrief had about 5 opportunities. I thought on his second attempt, he was fouled. And then definitely on his 4th and 5th attempts, he was fouled. He was mugged on the 5th one. I think that's when all hell broke loose, literally. So thankfully the refs now sorting this out. Well, the good news is there's going to be no shortage of footage of this online, whether this feed or I'm looking around, I'm seeing about a dozen different cameras. So there should be a couple different angles of this available online. And then social media will do what social media does. Well, this is a first for me in OSBA games, seeing a fight break out. It's a great game going on so far. And like I said, I haven't seen Orangeville come out with that kind of passion this season anyways here. I know when they go down the grind session a little bit different, but OSBA a little bit sometimes more pedestrian. Tony's just working through different guys and making sure everyone gets their minutes and gets their shots. But tonight it was like, I think they were like, no, let's go send a message to these guys. And Lincoln was like, nah, we came to send a message too. And what time we got here? So it's late. Geez, I'm going to be home late. 9 o'clock already, and we're frozen here. And so hopefully home by about midnight tonight, me. I live in Pickering. Well, I'll leave here, travel down Highway 9, down to the 404. And then to the 401 to P-Town. I used to take that the other way the first couple of years I came up here. I just discovered that route this year. I used to go 401 westbound to the 410 to Highway 10. And that just in rush hour traffic. My goodness, I remember one game, it took me about 4.5 hours to get up here, sitting in the traffic. I would love to see the comments section on the side. It's the one time I really want to see the comments section. Drop me a line on Twitter, at Mr. McKee. I get no service in here. Anyone that's ever been up to this gym knows that it's a bit of a Wi-Fi dead zone, but at the half, I usually go out by the front door, check my phone, make sure my house isn't burning down, my son needs anything. So, senior night. One thing I don't like, it's taking a little bit too long to unfold. It's like, I can't see, maybe a tee against Alex Nawaga, because I think he kind of, after Koulibaly punched him, I think he responded. But I better not see anything for Shamar, because Shamar, I don't think he did anything other than he pushed a little back after he got punched in the face. Well, shades of Kansas State from a few weeks ago. And then an even worse one, I don't know if any of you saw this online, because I was actually watching the Kansas State game live when that erupted into a brawl. Speaking of Kansas State, one of the teams after Jeff Nagandu here on Orangeville Prep, Jeff is getting over an injury. Tony McIntyre said we may see him tonight. He's just working back. But Nagandu fielding a host of offers, including K-State. But there was a women's game between, I'm going to say Alabama State and Texas Southern down in the SWAC, and it was a full-out melee, 10 times worse than what we just saw, and 10 times worse than that Kansas State-Kansas brawl a couple weeks ago. For me, though, I'm old school. I grew up watching the NBA in the 90s, the New York Knicks, Indiana Pacers, the Pistons, the bad boy Pistons, the Bulls. I'm used to seeing a few punches thrown in a game here and there. So obviously all the momentum gone for both teams. But either way, I just, let's make a decision here and let's get on with the game. All right, refs picking up the ball. Usually, though, if a player is ejected, they can't even sit on the bench, and I haven't seen any player from either team leave their respective bench. So there we go. I see Barbieri and Koulibaly. It looks like they are leaving the bench area, and it looks like Kyler Filowich is being ejected for Orangeville Prep. So, and I didn't see much about him, so it looks like, yep, Barbieri and Koulibaly appear to be done, and Shamar Rattan-Mays getting ejected. That's BS. Ay, ay, ay. So the reason I don't think Koulibaly and Barbieri have left the court, because I know there's a lock on that door. They don't have it, whereas the Orangeville dressing room, it's a passcode, and I know all the players know it. So back to it. Let's see what's going on here. So if you're Lincoln Prep, two of your starters out. Orangeville, obviously, Rattan-Mays, Filowich, huge parts, but they go so deep. And then another charge, Tyson Cato on Coleman Stuka. Now, one of the things I'm curious, we're going into OSBA playoffs, will there be suspensions following this? That's another question. Obviously, they're going to be reviewing this footage and anything else that's available online. Moncrief threw everyone. MA. Another thing, Koulibaly out. You wonder, hey, MVP race, does this affect anything? This is obviously going to lower his scoring average significantly. I know he definitely had 2. He may have had 4 points. That's about it. So that's going to drop him under the 30 points per game. And you wonder, if that maybe gives Colby Elvis an edge when all is said and done. Oh, we'll say one thing. I would be shocked as anything to ever see Kobe Elvis pull anything like that. Darius Diavero now going to run the point, as well as Prentice probably have a little bit of handle at it. And there's Darius picking the pocket of Jenkins. Push it ahead, get your phone out. Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Ooh. Or for young MA, it's always ooh. Jenkins to Cato. Cato's fouled and one. It's like Lorenzo Downey got a piece of him. Tyson Cato to the line. Tyson from Ajax, my neck of the woods, class of 2020, coming in averaging 14.3 points per game. Just a 54% free throw shooter, though. Converts. MA, Downey in the corner. And it looks like Lorenzo stumbled, and he's going to get called with a charge, but it was more just a stumble. Well, definitely wasn't expecting any of that. Jenkins has picked up his dribble and got lucky on that one. MA steals it back. Alley-oop! Matthew Alexander Moncrief if you need him. Ooh. Wow. See, that's one thing that you're going to wake up MA. Good luck. Everyone in the gym off their feet. Nice feed from Prentice on that. Mia Kongamane looking for space. And unlucky. Eboa can't finish. Stuka. Downey yet to get into it. Feed inside to Stuka. Nice lay-in, Coleman. 38-24. Orangeville, unlucky. I haven't seen MA this kind of motivated in a while. Watch out. 38-24, 4 minutes to go in the half. If you're just tuning in, each team has had 2 ejections. Kyler Filowich and Shamar Rattan-Mays ejected for Orangeville, and Jefferson Koulibaly and Lorenzo Barbieri ejected for Lincoln Prep. There was a bit of a brawl went on. Both benches emptied. I'm sure if you scroll back, you can watch the replay. And so now, Lincoln's coach getting into it. I think this is some of the frustration over the brawl, because I don't even know what they're arguing about here. Because wasn't it Orangeville that just got called with a foul? My goodness. Well, I have no idea what all this is about right now. We're going to talk about, Shamar's been ejected on senior night. I had the chance to meet his grandmother earlier today. She said she's a big fan of the live stream, listens in. So that was real nice. She had some great things to say about enjoying my broadcast, so made my day. Also met Shamar's mother. And I'm not sure what's going on here. Are they just calling the game? Is Lincoln Prep shutting it down? What's happening? So it looks like Shamar and Kyler are then be able to sit behind the bench. At least kind of join their teammates. I just seen Kyler up in the little studio up there and was directed to come down. He doesn't look none too pleased. He's got to be dejected. And, he was off to a great start. Big dunk, was playing with a ton of energy. And then this is all going on. So I was chatting with Vince Bull, the ref, who's over right now, having an animated conversation with the Lincoln coaching staff. He was in great spirits coming into the game today. I know Vince is a fan. I also work for Golf Talk Canada on TSN, and Vince, a big golf fan, and he follows what we do on GTC. We always chat a little golf sometimes. My goodness. What day is it? Wednesday? Oh, jeez. I was hoping to make last call at my local pub to get a beer because I'm off tomorrow. So this is like my Friday night. I work Saturday through Wednesday, usually, at my radio job, and then have Thursday and Friday off. But so it was Friday night, usually go out, meet up with a friend, have a pop, but I don't know if I'm going to make it in time. So they're still arguing over the fight, is what I'm gathering. Oh, Jeremy Pope, one of the AI coaches, you saw him walk across the court. Just on your screen there. Jeremy's a good follow on Twitter. Also, shout out Coach Manny. He's a good follow on Twitter as well. Always posting good video and stuff with the boys when they're on their travels in the U.S. and all that stuff. Well, I mentioned, off the gate, I don't have any producers telling me what's going on or no communication with the scores table. And so I'm just as in the dark as you guys are out there watching. I'm thinking about telling a few jokes. I don't know any clean ones. That's the problem. So Moncrief, electric, by the way, on that dunk. Huge. That's an early candidate, or a late candidate, should say, for dunk of the year. Silly. And if you missed one of the earlier games, Darius Mason Robertson posterized someone today, one of the AI players, that young man has got hops jumping out of the gym, and he had a big dunk tonight. But that Moncrief one, you just see, we've talked about, you said Georgetown, Seton Hall, Oklahoma State, he's down to his three. And MA has, every coach of his I've spoke with, every scout I've talked to is, he's definitely got NBA potential. I've seen, obviously, a bunch of guys come through here who are now in the NBA. Obviously, Jamal Murray, Ignas Brazdeikis, Luguentz Dort, O'Shea Brissett. And a whole bunch of guys now playing in the NCAA. My next guess as far as NBA players out of this program, Addison Patterson. I watched his game grow over the past couple of years. To me, I think he's a legit NBA prospect. I think he needs another year at Oregon. I hope to goodness he doesn't come out after his freshman year, because he's playing well, but he's still coming off the bench for the most part. Has had a few starts, I believe, but I'd love to see Addy at least another year at Oregon. Trust me, ask Dylan Brooks if there's anything wrong with playing 3 or 4 years in the Pac-12. Dylan just re-signed for another couple of years with Memphis. He's getting paid handsomely. All right, finally, we're going to play some basketball. I don't know what that second stoppage was about. Either way, here we go. Orangeville Prep, 14-point lead. 38-24, back to it. Jawanda back out there. Ooh. Raheem Douglas-Charles, this guy's been a revelation off the bench. A real spark, big three there. All these stoppages only help Lincoln, if you ask me. DeVero underneath, clever. Oh, everything but the finish. Moncrief off the glass. 40-27. Nice feed inside. Jawanda, he's got bust in the corner, but he stepped out of bounds. You see that in every gym. The opposing player is always a little unfamiliar with those lines. This isn't an NBA court where it's basic lines. There's a bunch of lines. They split this gym. It gets used for a lot of rec league and youth leagues as well. Moncrief. Prentice to Stuka. Prentice got to put it up. Shot clock at 3-2. Hits the rim. Lincoln in transition. And Mia Kangamane just lost the handle on it. And substitution. It's like Tyson Cato back in for Mia Kangamane. Moncrief spin move. Oh, stop. Gets called with a travel. Ugh. Stuka. Jenkins just telegraphed that. And Coleman, Stuka, and one. Stuka having a night, as usual. Coleman, hands down, one of the 10 best players I've seen play in the OSBA over the past couple of years, and that includes, we just talked about Addison Patterson, these guys, and Luguentz Dort, and all of them. He is easily one of the 10 best I've seen walk through the doors of this gym. Coleman, past few years at King's Christian, I loved his game there. Can't wait to watch him on TV next couple of years, and a travel, Tyson Cato. That would be my question. I would probably say Ignas Brazdeikis is the best I've ever seen in the OSBA. Luguentz Dort up there. Ooh, Coleman, Stuka in the conversation. Orangeville pressing. See, they want to send a message. And Jawanda off the glass for Lincoln. Justice Prentice in and out. Stuka muscling his way in. Can't get it to go. Jawanda, the big man, boxing out. And Cato, looks like a foul going to be called on Darius DeVero. And we're going to see Jeff Nagandu. Awesome. I haven't seen him since game 1 of the season. Jeff checking in, number 34, 6'9" senior out of the Congo. I was walked by him in the hallway. I heard him chatting in French with one of the other players. Cato. Good stats, 14.3 points per game, 9.4 rebounds. It's good size on him as well, 6'4". Nagandu, got a brace on that knee. Moncrief skates through everyone. Matthew Alexander Moncrief. And Prentice almost stole that. (47-31), 1:11 to go in the half. A much-needed half break. Settle this down. In the corner, Lincoln misses. It's Douglas Charles finally cooling down after hitting a couple shots. Wide open look for Prentice. Nobody covering him, but he can't take advantage. And knocked out of bounds by Buss. It'll still be Orangeville Prep ball. Darius inbounds. Way out to Stuka. M.A. inside to Nagandu. Jeff turnaround hook. Misses on his first attempt. Jawanda, long two, not there. Moncrief, nice feed to Nagandu. Stuka thought about it. Darius pulls the trigger. Darius DeVero, swish. 51-31. And then Buss. Oh, what a feed. Moncrief again. Oh. Matthew Alexander Moncrief, dunk after dunk. Wow. So a much needed half. I don't think I've ever been happier to see halftime come at the half. Orangeville Prep 52, Lincoln Prep 31 in a controversial first half. Both teams to the locker room. I'm gonna take a 10-minute break. I need to catch my breath. So we'll rejoin you for the start of the second half in 10 minutes. Well, welcome back. There is a basketball game going on. OSBA action. Welcome to OSBA TV. Back for the start of the second half. I'm Chris McKee. Orangeville Prep up 52-31 over Lincoln Prep. If you're just joining us, big melee earlier on. 2 players ejected from either team. And a couple huge dunks from Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Obviously, he's in my top 10 of all time to ever play in the OSBA. I was talking about with Coleman. I think Kobe Elvis is definitely in that mix for me. O'Shea Brissett, probably. Keyshawn Barthélemy, I think, is in that combo for me. Jawanda, nice spin move. What he's called an offensive. On Hazara Jawanda, thought it was a nice spin move. So you wonder what the message was for Lincoln. So Lincoln Prep only down to, it appears, 2 players on the bench. Stuka, spin move, looking for the foul, and I'm 1,000% in support of him. Coleman back hustling on defense. Jenkins in the corner for Buss, and he stepped out of bounds again. That's twice he's done that. I'm gonna say if there was his father or family member right below us, because I've seen a gentleman just bash the table right below me. My media booth, so if you heard a little rocking, that's what's popping. Prentice, and he's fouled by Douglas Charles, excuse me. And Raheem Douglas Charles mentioned the first, I came in off the bench, was a real boost for Lincoln. Orangeville Prep started the game on a 16-2 run, and then Douglas Charles came in, and he was the one guy on Lincoln that helped settle it and bring the game back to within reason. Nawaga, I don't think he needed a dribble there, catch and shoot. That's exactly what Tony McIntyre is saying. Great minds think alike, right, Tony? Orangeville Prep continuing to press. Miakonga Mane, Cato for 3. Alex Nawaga with the rebound. Alex going to James Madison University next year. Diavero will be back here, I assume, and then he does a little tap dance and gets called with a travel. Good call. One thing, I mean, we had a great atmosphere here in the gym, and all those delays, I think a lot of people just were like, yeah, I'm done, going home. At the half, I was out checking my Twitter and seeing if anyone messaging, because you can only get service by the door, and I seen a lot of people just saying, I'm done, I'm tapped out. So I think I'm going to have to put a pass on the post-game interviews tonight. And out of bounds, it's going to be Orangeville ball. Diavero. Oh. Little miscommunication with Stuka. I thought Darius had a clear lane to the hoop. I think Coleman gave up on, well, he's going to shoot it. No need for me to be in position. Cato, wide open look. And Jawanda just couldn't keep a handle on it. Knocked out of bounds, though. It's still going to be Lincoln ball. Well, game number 3 here today. First one started at 4 o'clock. And I've been up here a while talking. Jawanda, well done. Lead at 19 for Orangeville Prep. Darius skates through everyone. but could not finish. And we're seeing Christoph McDonald, number 12, for the first time today. Christoph, 2020 out of Brampton. Lincoln going into their bench with two guys out. Cato, a spin move, had the look, didn't want it. Long three. Hey, welcome to the game, Christoph McDonald. Big three. Leads you to wonder, what was he doing sitting on the bench for a while? M.A. back out to Coleman, Stuka, Diavero. And a little bit too much messing around by Orangeville. Someone's got to shoot the thing. Nice feed, Alex Nawaga! James Madison, you getting one. Alex, freakishly athletic, can jump out of the gym. Oh, and almost number 2, Scott Jenkins runs the floor. How is that not a charge? Ugh. Either way. So some of the parents echoing my sentiment, excuse me. Hey, is what it is. Jenkins to the free throw line. Scott of 2020 out of Hamilton, averaging 10.9 points per game coming into this contest. Just a 60% free throw shooter, but hasn't been to the line too often this season. Stuka. Prentice, a little floater. McDonald. And Alex back on defense. Stuka. Off the glass, Coleman Stuka. And unlucky, Ibua lost a handle on it. Alex thought about 3. Take it, man. Moncrief makes it look easy. I've talked about this a bunch of times. One of my highlights coming up here to call games, I played one-on-one with Matthew last year, and it didn't end well for me. He quickly disposed of me and said, I'm bored, get out of here. Stuka. Nawaga, turnaround. Nice finish, Alex Nawaga. We've seen so much growth in Alex's game between this time last year. He's so much more polished and more of a complete player. I think the previous 2 years I saw him, he was just this freakish athlete, as I said, and now he's really developed a little bit more fundamentally. This dude's a player, and I think he's still got so much more room to grow as a player when he gets to college, so sky's the limit for him. No Dyson Frank tonight. He's over in a tracksuit. Not sure what the reasoning is. Doesn't look like we're going to see Jalik Dunkley Distant either, the youngster. I think senior night, and we go with the Old guy. Jalik is over there on the bench in his white uniform, so maybe a little later on we may see Jalik. Jalik, a grade 9, playing on the best team in the country. And he's at his moments, trust me. Wait till you get a load of him. And that's exactly what every coach and anyone affiliated with this program told me at the start of the season. Like, I'll wait to see this kid. And they said the same thing to me about 3 years ago when there was a young, gangly, skinny kid named Matthew Alexander Moncrief. He was just all arms back then, these big, long, gangly arms. But he could jump out of the gym. You could see it early. And now, MA's development, insane. So can't wait to see where Jalik goes from here. 60-39. Cato in there battling. And Moncrief comes away with it. Cato. Foul. You don't want to pick up fouls that far away from the basket. Well, your own basket anyways. Thanks for joining us here on OSBA TV. I'm Chris McKee. You can drop me a line on Twitter at Mr. McKee. Don't forget to follow, subscribe to OSBA TV. Stay up to date on all things OSBA. And check them out on Instagram and Twitter. Lorenzo Downey. Lorenzo yet to get off the snide. Mentioned last week I was up here 5 threes in the first 5 minutes. And Moncrief gets himself to the line. MA averaging 20.6 points per game in the OSBA coming into this one. He wasn't here last week. He was out on his visits. I believe he was in St. John's 2 weeks ago when I was up here. So he hasn't played as many games as some of the other kids because he's been out doing some of his visits and stuff. I know he was down last year at the NBA Basketball Without Borders camp during NBA All-Star Weekend. I believe he was in Charlotte last year. Moncrief was down there. Prentice a little careless with that one. I think there was 5 Canadians this year at Basketball Without Borders. I think Josh Primo might have been one of them. Moncrief! Sneaks in the back door, hammers it down. Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Ooh. And what a feed. Well, MA, I'm speechless tonight. You could see it in his eyes when he walked into the gym tonight. He's like, I got to send a message. Wow. Well, MA making his decision Friday. Here he is again. Lost the handle on it. Leaves it for Downey. That's Lorenzo's sweet spot, but he can't buy one. And then that's Justice Prentice and one. Forgive me. So Justice averaging 13.5 points per game. This guy's a 93% free throw shooter. That's got to be the best in the league. And he's 50, well, that'll be 53 of 57 on the season. That's like Steve Nash territory. Cato back down Prentice. And there's the follow. Let's see who that is. That was Osheo Ibua for Lincoln. Stuka, and he's going to get called with a travel. Cato. And Ibua in there fighting and one. Oshesu Ibua will get himself to the line. Oshesu from Hamilton. Coming into the game, only averaging 3.1 points per game. seeing him. That's a little surprising. This guy's a player. And 78% from the free throw line, but he's got under 10 attempts, so. Converts. Lead at 22 for Orangeville. Stuka for 3. No dice. Rebound, Cato. Cato falls. DeVero off the glass, maybe. Moncrief! Matthew Alexander Moncrief putting on the highlight show tonight. Hey, the thing I'm proud, I read that off the glass just as well as Darius did. 61-39. It's the Matthew Alexander Moncrief show tonight here at the Athlete Institute. As the kids would say, league 'em. League my guy. Cato at the free throw line. So I just noticed the score on the live stream, a little behind us. It's 68-46 on the real score. I don't know how far that live stream is behind. We got to see Jalik Dunkley distant for the first time. Nagandu, Jeff Nagandu, and the Orangeville bench loving it. That's his first basket in a while. Coming back from injury. Great to see Jeff battling back. Jenkins for 3. No, it's just the score's way behind. It's 70-46. Nagandu, which is going to make it a nightmare for me to cut my highlights. Oh no, they're a little behind us, so the live stream's behind me, forgive me. We got a TV delay here. I got to stop paying attention to the big screen. Just focus on the action. Disregard my past minute of commentating. Nagandu, baseline jumper, air ball off Moncrief. It'll be Lincoln prep ball. So we're going to see Mustafa Vanyov from Tajikistan coming to the game for the first time. Orangeville going deep into the bench. Number 5 out there tucking in his jersey. Mustafa 2021, another year left. Jenkins for 3, why not? Scott Jenkins. Jalik Dunkley distance, and 1. The young man getting it done. Mentioned Jalik, just a grade 9. Huge future ahead of this guy. Everyone in the program can't say enough about Jalik Dunkley distant. His brother also with the program with AI Red, I believe. Get AI Red and AI Black mixed up. Janai Dunkley distant. Jalik converts. And, ooh, hey, nice attempt from Jenkins from the half. Hits the back of the rim. So at the end of 3, it's all Orangeville prep, 73-49. It's all Matthew Alexander Moncrief, to be more specific. MA, highlight after highlight. Oh, shout out to Georgetown Nation if you're out there watching. The Hall, what's good? And down in Oklahoma, the Cowboy Nation as well. If you're out there watching, you got about, well, it's Wednesday, you got 2 days to plead your case. funny checking Matthew's Twitter timeline, seeing a lot of the fan base from each of those schools getting involved, trying to sway his decision to come to their program. You know, seeing the way Matthew's playing right now, I'm putting in an early wager on BioSteel MVP. Saw it last year with Addison, just in some of the scrimmages prior. Saw him up here on the Saturday, and I could see that he wasn't going into that game as an all-star game. He was going in to prove a point, and hopefully MA on a similar tip, March 29th at, I believe it's the University of Toronto again. The Gold Rink Center, love that facility. Down at just off Bloor Street, right next to Varsity Stadium, in the heart of downtown Toronto. I guess St. George and Bloor would be. And Nagandu with the follow and off Jalik's foot, out of bounds. Nice feed underneath. And Lincoln can't finish. Prentice and Scott Jenkins called with a foul. And I'm with Jenkins on that one. He didn't really do much. I think it was Justice did a great job of drawing the contact. And the Lincoln coach saying the exact same thing I am. He's initiating the contact. So referees given a warning. You can obviously understand the frustration having, well, definitely his best player ejected, perhaps his two best players ejected. Certainly his two leading scorers ejected. Barbieri 0.1 points more per game than Cato. So that's 44 points from Lincoln, averaging a game out of the game right now. And they're gonna hit that. They just got it over in time. Cato. Oh, Jeff Nagandu, see what he can do defensively as well. McDonald. And it looks like Justice Prentice acknowledges the foul, puts his hand up. It's been a long night, 10 o'clock Eastern time here in Mono, Ontario. It's about an hour north of downtown Toronto. And Jacob Buss back into the game for Scott Jenkins. On a frigid Wednesday, February 19th evening, temperatures somewhere around minus 15 right now locally. Went out in between one of the games, snow falling down. And a travel, oh, come on. It's called a spin move. Maybe that's a makeup call. Cato. And Lincoln having a tough fourth quarter. Nice steal from McDonald. Kristoff, this guy's been a player coming off the bench. And Darius down the other end. He looks, I think he just slipped. I was watching the play ahead. Darius looks to be okay. So no, the live stream feed is back up to speed. So thank you. It wasn't me. I'm not insane. The score was behind. Okay. Well, maybe I am insane, but. Cato inbounds. Cato, nice ball handler. And denied Jeff Nagandu. Mustafa Vanya with the rebound. Nagandu, ooh, yeah. Hey, still counts for two. That would have got the Orangeville bench up. All the coaching staff see Brandon Enos up there. He was ready to explode. Jalik Dunkley distance. How about right now? The young man showing his game. And Nagandu defensively. Cato, showing his bag of tricks. Cato from just outside the free throw line. Swish. Tyson Cato. Well, don't go anywhere yet, folks. You're going to see a few more dunks at some point. Moncrief doesn't look done. He's over there. He wants to get back into the game, looks like. Matthew continuing to stay loose. We're going back to my, best players in OSBA history for me. I remember Ignas Brzdeikis because there was nights in here where I remember he had like 44, 45 at the half. And literally, I honestly believe he could have scored 100 points. But obviously, they had to, not trying to embarrass the opposition. But there was nights, I think Iggy, if they let him play, real minutes, because half the time he wasn't even playing the second half, I think he could have averaged 50 a night with ease. Was the OSBA MVP. This is going back to what, 2018 maybe? 17, 18? Iggy doing his thing with the Knicks as well as Westchester, the G League. He's too good for the G League. He's tearing it up. He's waiting for the right opportunity in the NBA. Battle on the ground, and finally, are we calling possession arrow? Nope. Nagandu, you can see what he does, excuse me. One, two, three, four, five. I'm not sure what the refs. So Moncrief back into the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 on the floor. Oh, so Alex will have to take a quick seat. Moncrief back out there. And MA is salivating to add to his already out of this world highlight reel package. Jalik Dunkley distance. Dunk number 2. Ooh. Let him know. Lead at 30 now, 81-51. This guy's like 14 years old. What were you doing at 14? I couldn't even touch the mesh. Sky's the limit for Jalik. Jenkins has the look he wants, puts it up. This guy from behind the arc, Scott Jenkins, lethal. Pure shooter. Stuka, Vanyov from the corner. Jenkins comes up with it. Oh, great outlet, but Moncrief read that. MA a little ginger. Yeah, he's come down a little ginger. And Justice Prentice. MA tweaked his knee, kind of awkwardly fell on that. I think the best thing to do is kind of run it out. Cato. And misses a wide open dunk. MA just wants the foul. He wants to get out of the game. He's calling over to the bench. Cato, and tough night for Tyson Cato, rolled all around the rim. MA. Stuka. Coleman, why not? Swish. Coleman, Stuka. And finally, MA will go over to the bench. I don't think it's much. I just think he needs to kind of walk it off. A little awkward landing for him. Lorenzo Downey back in. Lorenzo quiet tonight. I've said it 100 times all throughout the season. I thought Hands down, he should have been the OSBA MVP of the playoffs last year. Gave it to his teammate, Avon Nava, who I think he's out at Santa FX, playing under Terrell Vernon, his TRC coach. Jenkins, why not? Vanyov, rebound. Lorenzo, you know he wants to get it going. And there it is, Lorenzo Downey, swish. The thing is, Lorenzo is as good a shooter as there is in the country, but he can take it to the hoop as well. He's got a really nice first step. And you see Lorenzo's got a frame on him, so when he brings it in there amongst the trees, he can hold his own. Stuka again, why not? Coleman, Stuka, lethal. Shooter's got to shoot. Nice little floater again, Douglas Charles. He's had a nice night quietly. Well over his season average. Lorenzo way off, forced that one, but when it's 92-56, you can afford it. Jenkins from the free throw line, nicely done. Scott Jenkins. Mentioned Scott of 2020 out of Hamilton. He's got a pretty sweet stroke on him. I think Coleman wants this again. He's heating up. Vanyov, fade away, no good, and Jalik underneath. Jalik Dunkley distant. And kick ball on Jalik. Well, thanks for joining us here on OSBA TV. I'm Chris McKee. Don't forget, drop me a line on Twitter at Mr. McKee, MRMCKEE, or on Instagram. Same thing. And follow the OSBA on Instagram and Twitter. Stay up to date, especially right now. Playoffs coming, all the signings, all the announcing, all the, boys, both the boys and the girls announcing where they're going. Stuka, and gets called with a charge on that one. And thankfully, his dad has left the gym because he wasn't too pleased earlier with some of the calls. He's gone out to the car to chill out for a bit. Jenkins trying to shake Prentice. And Vanyov, nice D, but he's called with a foul on Hazara Jawanda. So Jawanda from Vancouver, he's a 2020. And we got a timeout on the floor. Well, getting down to the end of the game here and end of the season as far as regular season. So thanks to everyone involved with the OSBA for allowing me the opportunity to call these games. Love it. It's my 4th season doing Athlete Institute games in Orangeville and my 3rd OSBA season. Talked about it before, I do pro basketball, pro volleyball, but much rather be up here any day of the week. My goal is, by the end of this year, I'm hoping, obviously, I don't have a U.S. work visa, nothing. I know you got to get it, trust me, I know the process. But I'm hoping at some point, just like a lot of these players, to find an opportunity in the NCAA in the U.S., I'm looking to do the same. I think I'm ready. I know I'm ready, actually. Just that opportunity will come. Hazara Jawanda hits his first. Jenkins. And as he's falling away, Scott Jenkins and one. Well, Jenkins definitely padding his mixtape, at least in the fourth quarter. As he's going to the ground, just chucks it up and it goes in. Scott convert. Ooh, I thought it went in. Spoke too soon. Sorry, bro. Downey mentioned he's got the Band-Aid looking like Nelly. I've been waiting to drop some Hot in Here or Dilemma or Air Force One lyrics, but Lorenzo only the 1-3 in the second half. Stuka slowing it down. Lorenzo, step back three, that's his signature move. It's getting hot in here. Lorenzo Downey, big three, 97-61. Bus can't get it to go. And Justice slowing things down. Jalik. Vanya for three, can't get it to go. Stuka, you know he just wanted that. You could just see he wanted it more. Just over a minute left in the ball game. Orangeville Prep will go undefeated in the regular season. They didn't last year. I remember they lost one game last year to Thornley. They'd just come back off a travel schedule. I remember they played here. It was like a Wednesday or Thursday night, and then they were back again like a Thursday or Friday morning game at Thornley. And lost that one. And they ended up losing to Thornley again in the semis, but I haven't seen anyone in the OSBA really give them a challenge yet this year. Obviously, I know they've lost a handful of games down in the grind and some of the tournaments. Also beaten some of the biggest teams in the U.S. So kudos to both coaching staffs after the melee in the first half. No more nonsense here in the second. Well, thankfully, cooler heads did prevail. Jalik. Stolen. And Stuka not letting that happen. That's Miakonga Mane will go to the line. Mel from Belgium, class of 2021. Just 4.1 points per game coming in. He's had a nice night tonight. And he's just a 56% free throw shooter. And I've hit the wall, I'm starving. So hopefully hit something on the drive home. After 7 hours of broadcasting basketball, methinks I've earned it. And that'll do it. No free pizza slice for the Raptors fans, no 100. But Orangeville does put 97 on Lincoln Prep and runs them out of the gym. Orangeville Prep, the #1 seed, going into the OSBA playoffs starting March 5th to 8th at Ryerson. Don't forget to tune into OSBA TV and check that out. And what a performance. Matthew Alexander Moncrief put on a clinic. What a game. Well, that wraps up an OSBA season for me. Another season up here calling basketball. Thanks all involved for the opportunity. Stay classy, San Diego.